Hey guys, so number one, I need to address the video I posted earlier is deleted and I will not be re-uploading it because thankfully the person that ban anime thing failed, thank God, and I just needed to get it off my chest. I only had it up for an hour and I'll never put it up again. Anyways, back to an actually good an actual fun video. I am going to talk about my thoughts on the Vengeance on Varos, which is the third outing of the Sixth Doctor. Now, I am aware that Attack of the Cybermen came before this episode, but I don't have it currently on DVD, and I haven't seen it, so I can't talk about it. This episode, on the other hand, even though I've only seen select episodes of the Sixth Doctor story, I love this episode. So far, it's my favorite Colin Baker episode. And for me, I think, well, this has to be a close contender. This might be the Face the Raven to Revolution of the Daleks, Heaven Sent. But I haven't seen Revolution of the Daleks yet, but I know its reputation. However, this episode, on the other hand, basically the premise, the Doctor and Perry need to go find Zyton 7, which is sold on the planet of Varos. And it's a population of an original prison colony that are being forced to vote yes or no on people's execution and forms of torture. And this is at the time of the classic series where it was being heavily remarked as being too violent, which no, it's not. That was Tom Baker's era of the show, not this era. But anyways, this is also. I also like to point out that Colin Baker and Nicola Bryan, who played Perry, both give amazing performances in this episode. Actually, all of the characters do, in fact. As I watch more and more classic episodes, I am beginning to find out apparent just how lack of budget the classic era had. Like, it's a lot more apparent in the earlier episodes, like, say, Third Doctor's stories, but for an episode that came out in 1984, this is pretty low budge. But then again, I'm used to watching the new series, which has a little bit more of a budget. I say that considering the budget. Like, look at half of the monsters in David Tennant's era of the show. It's got a lot more budget than the 80s show had. But anyways, one thing I loved about this episode, the commentators, the two people, the civilians of the Varos, they give insight to how the citizens act, just watching the story unfold, and had great comedic timing with those two. And the villain of the series, the villain of the episode, Syl, this little slug monstrosity, is actually a really good prosthetic and costume. Like, I don't know if it was a puppet or it was just the actor was so small that he was able to fit in there, but whatever it was amazing. I mean, I've heard the commentary, but I haven't rewatched it, because this is actually my second, official full rewatching of the story. And I love it. Again, I've said in a previous episode that some people have regarded Colin Baker's era as the worst era of the show. And while I'll admit the next episode I'm going to be talking about isn't that good at all. However, but then again, I'll talk about that episode when I talk about it. If you're wondering what episode I'm referring to, Mark of the Rani. Granted, I have heard that it's at least better than Time of the Rani, but I haven't seen that episode yet, and I didn't really favor this episode, to be honest with you. I really didn't. Though, Kate O'Mara, who plays the Rani, does an excellent performance in that character. However, I'll talk about that tomorrow when I get to it. Because I don't feel like watching that episode today. So, basically, the only problem I had with the episode, how open-ended they left the series. They left the episode. I mean, like, that literally begs the question, what do they do now? Like, now that they no longer have to vote and decide who dies, what do they do now? And that's how the episode ends. That's my only problem. I mean, granted they've been freed, but they would obviously go back, like some form of something would have to have happened to, unless crime and to control the crime, and like would they start developing their own forms of entertainment? Because the punishments were the only form of it. That's my only complaint. The rest of the episode was solid, because it shows how awful the life is for people in Varos, how corrupted, well, I wouldn't say the government, but more the one side of it is, because the governor is obviously trying. However, he's being forced with treason, kind of like what Asmare / Edgeworth got in the Twin Dilemma. But unlike that episode that had some problems, that had a little bit of problem, this episode, on the other hand, the only problem was how open-ended it was. I mean, personally, again, Nicole, again, and thankfully they don't play it up as much here, but with how scantily clad they have Nicola Bryant in that costume, you can tell she was casted just to give the dad something to look at. Which I feel bad for Nicola Bryant about that. I mean, that shouldn't be all of her character is. That's basically like saying Rose Tyler. That's like saying in the new series Rose Tyler was only casted to get the attention of the guys who watch. No. Then again, there were other characters who've been played by other actresses in the past. Like, I want to say the first actress who played Romana. I've seen how she looks, and like Nicola Bryant, even though I see Perry as more than that, Romana seems just like a pair of tits in a tight costume. Like, say yet the second incarnation of Romana is not. But I haven't really seen much of the Fourth Doctor's stories besides the recreation of Shada, but that's about it. And then, but anyways, no, I'm talking about that. It's already 10 minutes. Well, this video is already 10 minutes long, and I wanted to actually have a video up that wasn't ranting, and a video that actually will remain up and not deleted. So that's my opinion on Vengeance on Varos. I'll talk about the Mark of Barani tomorrow. And what did you guys think of Vengeance on Varos if you've seen it? Comment down below and tell me what you thought. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!